Okay, Amma Namaste, welcome one more time to our study group session. Amma Namaste, everybody. Okay, so we're still reading the Master Choa Kok Sui book, right? I gotta see if you guys can see the book in itself. The spiritual essence of man, the chakras, and the inverted tree of life. So let's just do a quick invocation so we can get right to it. You can follow me mentally or do your own invocation. To the Divine Supreme and Absolute God, Divine Father, Mother, to my spiritual teacher, all spiritual teachers, holy angels, holy masters, to all the saints, to Divine Lord Christ, and to all the hierarchy of the Divine Holy Angels and Archangels, and to all the great ones, to all spiritual helpers, all spiritual elders, all divine beings of light. With your help and in your name, we thank you for your divine and priceless blessings. Thank you for your divine light, for your divine love, for your divine power, for your divine mercy, good health, protection, guidance, help, and divine illumination. Thank you for your priceless teachings, for the priceless love, for the opportunity to serve, for the goodwill and the will to do good. With thanks and in full faith, so be it, and so it is. Thank you. Okay. Welcome. So, so today we're covering the sex chakra, right? Chapter 9. We're almost finishing the book. We have 2 more chakras to go. So this chakra is going to take a bit of time. There's a lot to cover in this chapter. So after the sex chakra is the basic chakra, and we're good. And then we're going to go to the unknown, and that's it. Okay, so chapter 9, Sacred Sex, Yesod, Foundation, page 133. Right? And then page 134, you see the basic chakra while it's moving, and you see it if it's going in very slow motion, right? Below. And so it says Yesod, sex chakra. What does Yesod mean? Yesod means foundation, right? Foundation. It corresponds to the sex chakra, which is located at the pubic area. The sex chakra, or Yesod, is the foundation of physical creation, the foundation of the physical world. It has 6 petals and contains red prana of 2 different shades, and orange prana. So you see that orange prana, of course, for expelling, everybody, for many different reasons, right? Everybody peace, right? Also for creation, babies, etc. They're coming out, except many things. But also red prana, very important, of 2 different shades, as you can see here. 2 shades of red prana, right, and orange prana. So, but there's something very important. It means foundation. Foundation of what? And it says, the author here says, Yesod is the foundation of physical creation. The foundation of the physical world. This is very, very important. As you have major chakras on your physical body, there are also things called Maha chakras. They're called what? Maha chakras. This is a Sanskrit. Chakra is a Sanskrit word that means Maha also, right? Chakra means wheel, and Maha means what? Great. Yes, it means great, great will. So these are great chakras, big chakras, and they are in the most unlikely of places. These chakras are a Mahachakra. Solar system is a Mahachakra. Galaxy is a Mahachakra. The universe is a Mahachakra. They are great, great chakras, also at different levels, not only in this plane, but in other planes. Now, as above, so below. So Yesod, it says, is the foundation of the physical world. These energies are the foundation of the physical world. It is a physical creation. This is why, right, the babies, the creation, even creation of babies, etc., happen here through the pubic area, right, through the sex chakra. Physical creation. This is just one manifestation of physical creation, but there are many other levels of physical creation. Yes? Or many other avenues of physical creation using this same type of energies. Now, the sex chakra, Yesod, is the center of sexual instinct. Persons with strong sex chakras usually have strong sexual drives. The sex chakra, Yesod, is the physical creative center for procreation, what we just said. The throat chakra, Da'at, is a center for higher creativity. So the sex chakra is lower creativity, while Da'at, or the throat chakra, is a center for higher creativity. Correct. That's why artists, generally when you see artists, you explore their chakras. The chakras are generally, they're going to be, their throat and their sex is generally a little bit more activated than the other chakras. Again, they can have let's say a bigger heart chakra or whatever, but you would see that as a normal, it's more predominant, those two. The sex chakra, Yesod, again, is the physical creative center for procreation, and the throat chakra, the center for higher creativity. It is the higher correspondence of the sex chakra. So the is a higher correspondence of the sex chakra. The two are closely interconnected. This is why highly artistic or very intelligent people tend to have very strong sexual drives and lots of sexual scandals. It is not possible for a person to be very creative or intelligent and be sexually impotent or inhibited at the same time. Clear? Now, can you try to be celibate? Yes, but that's not what this is saying. Okay. Let's just keep reading and then we'll go back. Part of the sex energy is transmuted by the body to a higher form of pranic energy to be utilized for creative, intelligent, and spiritual functions. Why does the teacher say intelligent? Right? If it's this creative center, why is he talking about intelligent people having strong sexual desires and all these things? Because the throat chakra is what? Knowledge. It's the center for communication and also what? But also intelligence, lower intelligence. Right? Higher intelligence and lower intelligence. So you have, this is concrete mind, right? So concrete thought is also the center for that, for intelligence. The Ajna chakra and the throat chakra are also interconnected. Okay? So you have, because these are interconnected as well, they're closely, it says here, right? They are closely interconnected, not loosely interconnected, closely interconnected. Right? So, highly creative, highly intelligent. Also you would see that highly intelligent people are also very creative, because they can come up with out-of-the-box ideas, right? So creativity is not only for artists. It can also be, mathematicians can be very creative, right? Logical people can also be very creative. It depends on the person. It's not only one side or the other. To some people, sometimes more one side more developed than the other. Yes, that's okay. But a more balanced individual it could be very, very creative as well. It could be very logical, very intelligent, but also it could be very creative. And if you see those people that have, let's say, transcended, they have given us very special thoughts, or they have discovered certain laws, or they have proposed new ways of thinking, right? Whether it's in science or in art or what have you, they're highly creative people, highly intelligent, but also highly creative. So a lot of the theories that have come up, even those people that work in string theory or quantum physics or the M theory, or they have to be creative, they have to be intelligent, because those that are pioneers on things, or that discover new ways of thinking, or that propose new theories or ideas, right? They are going outside of what is already established. Thank you. They go out whatever is what is out there. You understand? So they don't stay with the norm. The norm might be this, but they move forward. They evolve. Correct? So Einstein, Nikola Tesla, Newton, all these people, right? Galileo Galilei, all these people, they have Faraday. They have had either visions, or they have thought about Humboldt. You understand? They have thought of great, great ideas. They have gone beyond. They have gone outside of the box. And it doesn't matter whether it's in the artistic. I mentioned scientific names, but it doesn't matter what. But they, in what field. But highly creative individuals, they find ways, sometimes ways on using the same rules. They find ways around things, or they find ways to move forward in a better way. So that is an example of a highly developed throat chakra, highly developed sex chakra. And others, right? So part of the sex energy, correct, is transmuted by the body to a higher form of pranic energy. Part of the sex energy is transmuted by what? The body to a higher form of pranic energy, to be utilized for creative, intelligent, and spiritual functions. And then this is important. The transmuted sex energy is required for the proper functioning of the throat chakra and the chakras in the head area. Okay. I'm going to read that again. It's in italics for a reason. So this sentence is in italics. Why does the author put those in italics? Because it's very, very important. It wants you to really pay attention on this. So we'll cover. The transmuted sex energy is required. So really, where is the sex energy coming from? The sex chakra. So is the sex chakra very important already because of this? Yes. So the sex energy is already telling you that it's very important. And that energy is transmuted, right? Now, did we talk about transmutation of energy before in this spiritual study group? Yes. What was transmuting energy? The Meng Meng chakra, hot, right? And there were other chakras, right, that we're talking about that it would transmute energy. So this is another chakra that its energy becomes transmuted. Okay. Now, but here is saying that it's not necessarily that the chakra is doing the transmutation, but the body is doing the transmutation, and the energy can be transmuted. So, but it says, according to the transmuted energy, that transmuted pranic higher, like that sex energy can be transmuted into higher forms, right? On a higher form, to a higher form of pranic energy, and it's utilized for creative, intelligent, and spiritual, right? For those purposes. But then it says, the transmuted sex energy is required for the proper functioning of the throat chakra and the chakras in the head area. So from here on up, for the proper functioning of these chakras, they have to do with the mind, right? That have to do with intelligence and with other higher, lower intelligence, higher intelligence, and other spiritual centers for their proper functioning, including the crown chakra, which is the entry point of spiritual energy into the body, the forehead chakra, right, which is how you access the inner world, heaven. And the center of willpower, of higher willpower, the director of all the other chakras, and more. For all these chakras to function properly, sex energy is required. Transmuted sex energy is required. So it is said that Yesod, the sex chakra, a good attitude towards sex, all of that is needed for proper functioning of the higher chakras. It nourishes the higher chakras. This is why after this, the author says, mentally retarded patients have depleted sex chakras. Why? Because you need enough energy to nourish. It's like food. You can nourish your body with food. But if all of food you have a day is just one loaf of bread or just a few seeds versus someone that has, a whole banquet of different types of foods, healthy different types of food, and in great abundance, what person do you think is going to be better nourished? You understand? It's just the amount of energy. You need enough energy to also nourish the higher chakras for them to function properly. But if you have depleted sex chakra, that's why it says mentally retarded patients have depleted sex chakras. That is why their throat, ajna, forehead, and crown chakras are also depleted and do not function properly. In older people, the sex chakra, Yesod, and the basic chakra, Malkut, are depleted. This is one of the factors why older people tend to become senile. One of the factors why older people become senile. Yes? The science and art of transmuting sex energy into creative energy and into a higher form of pranic energy to activate the brain cells is taught in Arhatic Yoga. What did the author say?
The science of art.
Science and art.
Of transmuting sex energy into creative energy and into a higher form of pranic energy. Studied Arhatic Yoga.
Exactly. What is Arhatic Yoga? To remind people, is the spiritual arm of pranic healing. Master Choa Kok Sui is the modern founder of pranic healing and Arhatic Yoga. So the author is the modern founder of pranic healing and Arhatic Yoga, which is the spiritual arm. You have the healing arm, pranic healing, and the spiritual arm, which is Arhatic Yoga. And the purpose of Arhatic Yoga is to make the student into a baby Arhat, which is a highly developed being, which is balanced. It's a very highly intelligent, very loving, with developed emotions, developed intelligence, and a healthy body. You understand? It's a very special person. So, we have someone, Alina, pulling up. I guess she'll come in. She's parking or something. Anyway, so people come to be here in the physical. So anyway, but listen, but look at what it says here. Right, there's a science and art of transmuting sexual energy. Now, is Arhatic Yoga the only place where you can learn this? No. Transmutation of energy has been taught in many different schools. I like how it is taught here, and later in the book, you're taught some exercises too. We will learn that in this chapter, how to transmute sexual energy. Is just transmuting sexual energy only these exercises? No. Is it a vast subject? Absolutely, yes. Sometimes we think that transmuting sexual energy is just certain exercises. There's much more to it than that. And specifically, you can go very deep as to what happens to that energy, the different frequencies that it goes through, or colors, or what you want to call it, and also what type of, what are the purposes, what does it do. There's also, apart from Arhatic Yoga, within Arhatic Yoga, there's also Arhatic sexual alchemy. There's just a whole class just on sexual alchemy, which is a lot of it is transmuting sexual energy and using this energy for higher spiritual purposes, and also even with your own partner, how to have greater intimacy, love, right, and also spiritual growth together with your partner. So there's a lot to transmuting sexual. That's why there's an art and science, not just a couple of exercises. So, but it says transmuting into creative energy and into higher forms of pranic energy to activate the brain cells. That's key. To activate what? The brain cells. Why do you want to activate the brain cells? Higher level of intelligence, higher level of sensitivity. The mental faculties, exactly. And so it's also makes your brain also more sensitive to more subtle energies. So your scanning is better, your perception is better, because then you can actually have a better sensor of subtle energies, whether it's through your hand, your aura, many different ways. It's like a bridge between the physical and the higher subtle and the more subtle energies, the pranic energies and whatnot, spiritual energies. So it's a process. It's not like you transmute and that's it. But as you do this progressively, your brain cells will progressively grow. Not grow in size, but they will evolve. Your body evolves through transmutation of sexual energy. Your physical body evolves. You understand? And so you are able to also, your body grows and is able to withstand higher intensity of energy. So as you grow spiritually, it's also very important to transmute. Okay, but the good thing is that the body does it also automatically to a certain degree, but if you help it, it's much better. The growth is exponential, So, but again, you don't have to believe anything I say. Please, like my teacher, Master Choa Kok Sui, used to say, do not believe anything I say. Do not believe what you read in books. Experiment, right? Validate. No fanatism. Look at things objectively, right? And experiment. Whatever you can, experiment. Validate. You can do these exercises, see if it helps you. See if there's a change. Do it for an extended period of time and see what happens. Just a meditation on twin hearts. Meditate for a certain period of time. See if it changes your life, if you feel better, if you're more peaceful, what you experience. The same thing with transmuting higher energies. Okay. Now, mentally retarded people, it says, have severely depleted sex chakras. Yesod. A strong, healthy sex chakra is necessary for a healthy throat chakra, which is also responsible for the development of the mental faculty. So, mentally retarded people have severely depleted sex chakras, right? Yesod. A strong, healthy sex chakra is necessary for a healthy throat chakra, which is also responsible for the development of the mental faculty. Therefore, it is very important to treat the sex chakra of mentally retarded people for a prolonged period of time. So, for those that are healers, when you are treating someone who is mentally retarded, the author says you should focus time on the sex chakra for a prolonged period of time, so it can be energized properly. What does the throat chakra also take care of? The throat chakra. The thymus. Is the thymus there? No, the thyroid. Thymus is the heart chakra. The thyroid. The thyroid is the sex chakra is in charge of the thyroid, right? So it's also very, very important. The throat chakra takes care of that, but the sex chakra affects the throat chakra, and it affects the welcome. Namaste. The whole throat chakra. So the sex chakra affects the throat chakra, and also how it, and everything that it takes care of, including the thyroid. And the thyroid takes care of many things, right? Including the function of all the organs. If your thyroid is malfunctioning, your organs will malfunction. I mean, depending on the degree of malfunction, but it can affect your organs as well. So it is very important. It's all, and if you've been listening to the entire thing, it's all a system. It's systematic. You understand? It's a system. Everything is affected, and everything touches on everything else. So, and then we have physiological functions. That's the next title on page 137. Welcome. We're happy to have you, Alina. Welcome.
Hi, thank you. It's been a while.
Okay. Physiological functions. Page 137. It has been clairvoyantly observed that when a person is urinating, right? This is great. We were talking about peeing in YouTube and in the class. I love this subject. I'm just joking. It's just funny. It just makes me laugh. So it's been clairvoyantly observed that when a person when a person is urinating, it doesn't say peepees in the book. When a person is urinating, his sex chakra and meng chakra produce more orange prana, right? Expelling. Why the meng chakra? Because the meng chakra takes care of the riñones, right? Of the kidneys, right? So, and the sex chakra of the sexual organ. So they work together. Again, a system. It has been clairvoyantly observed that when a person is urinating, his sex chakra and meng chakra produce more orange prana, which is used in expelling and eliminating waste matter from the body. The sex chakra, Yesod, controls and energizes the sex organs, the bladder, the urethra. It also affects the legs, the throat, and the head. Why the head? Because it affects all the chakras in the head area, including the throat. Right? The Ajna chakra, Bina, throat chakra, Da'at, and basic chakra, Malkut, have a strong influence on the sex chakra, Yesod. Malfunctioning of any of these chakras may adversely affect the sex chakra, Yesod. Did it say something? So, the Ajna, throat, and basic. Ajna, throat, and basic have a strong effect on the sex chakra. If any of these chakras are malfunctioning, right, it will affect the sex chakra as well. Adversely. Malfunctioning of these chakras may adversely, not a little bit, right, but adversely affect the sex chakra, Yesod. Malfunctioning of the sex chakra, Yesod, may manifest as A. Urinary problems. B. Impotency. C. Sterility. D. Enlarged prostate gland. E. Other sexual ailments. Any questions thus far? What we have covered?
Sexual ailments could also be reproductive ailments, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Is that, sorry, the base chakra,
Basic.
the basic,
Mm-hmm.
that's is beneath the sex chakra?
No, it's behind.
Behind?
It's around the same level, but in the back.
Okay.
Chinese and Indian correspondence of Yesod. It's by the coccyx area. What? Tailbone, yeah. So Chinese and Indian correspondence of Yesod. In Taoist yoga, the sex chakra corresponds to Ku Gu, which means crooked bone. In Chinese medicine, it corresponds to the acupuncture point RNCV2. The correspondence of the sex chakra in Sanskrit is Svadhisthana chakra. In Tamil, southern India, is called Kutu Varman. Could you pass me the red book? Thank you. Very kind. Should mark this page. Thank you. So again, we're referring to our Iron Shirt Qigong, right? One from Mantak Chia. I just want to see something. Should bookmark this page. At least you can see me flipping through it, because that might be funny to see. I don't know. Boring. We're coming here. Should flip this way. It's a lot of nice pictures. I know that you can see them. So I'm looking for something here. What I showed you last time. So, it's a cool book though. Okay. Alright, we're just gonna leave it. But anyway, just wanted to show you the sex chakra here. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Can you guys see this? I hope you can. So these are also the different centers in Taoist tradition, right? So here you would see the sex chakra right here, around here. And so it will be the, but here they call it ovary palace or sperm palace.
I like that name.
Yes, right? It's a palace. Cool for important things, right? So there you go. Okay. Time is it? All right. A little bit further. Okay, do you guys have any questions thus far? We're good? Yes, sir.
How does
Please speak louder.
How does Bina, Da'at, and Malkut influence Yesod?
That's a good question. Okay. Well, the throat chakra, we saw how it affects. I can't speak about everything, right? And there will be things that I do not know, obviously, right? So but if you look, the Bina or the Ajna chakra is a director chakra. So all chakras are directed by Bina, by the Ajna chakra. This is the director. That's also why it's the center for higher willpower. And that's why it's called the director, because like in a company, remember when we read Bina, the director has to do with directing the company, right? It's also the abstract mind, and is related to the throat chakra, right? So you have the higher intelligence, lower intelligence. So, and these two are closely related. So when one is one is affected, the other one is affected, right? That's why in the Lord's Prayer, it says when it says "Hallowed be Thy name," these two are part of that. In "Hallowed be Thy name," why? Because it's not only the speech, the materialization of speech and communication, but also the materialization of the thought. So "Hallowed be Thy name," it says that everything should be holy. Hallowed is holy, right? Thy name, the name of the One Supreme Being, the name of all things. So everything that comes out of the mouth must be holy. It must be good. It must be wholesome, right? And that's why and that is a combination of these two, not only speech, but thought. Because the speech is materialization of thought, right? And communication. So any utterance first comes from the will. First comes from the thought of it. So these two are already connected. And and we already know that the throat chakra is closely, right? We know that it's closely interconnected closely interconnected. What does that mean? There are connections between these two chakras. They're energy nadis or energy channels between the throat and the sex chakra. So these are closely interconnected. And so these two chakras are closely interconnected because of also the frequency that they have. One is higher creativity, the other one is lower creativity. So these are about that. You understand? The same thing happens, and these two are interconnected, right? Higher intelligence and lower intelligence. So you already have interconnection in this. It's already connected to each other. And then the basic chakra, what is the name of Yesod? What does Yesod mean? Foundation. Foundation of what? Of the physical world. Foundation, but below the physical world, what does the physical world need? Is a physical world just like that? Does everything is created by something? In the sense, do we have building blocks? Does your body have building blocks? Yes, right? And at the lowest level, everything is made by atoms. And everything is made by strings and light and all of that, right? But let's talk about the atoms. All this is about building blocks. And there are other energies that support these building blocks, these atoms, right? You have all these strings, all these things that make all these things physical. These energies, these gross energies, are energies that physicalize subtle thought, that physicalize prana, that physicalize subtle energy and make it into dense physical energy. This is what the basic chakra does. It's a chakra of materialization, of prosperity, of abundance. Why? Because it materializes, physicalizes. So that foundation of the physical world needs support, needs energy from the basic chakra. So they are closely connected. How can you physicalize something without the basic chakra? Without that, the basic chakra maintains your physical, your muscular and skeletal systems, the densest part of your body. Yeah, from the sex chakra, it can give life. It can give creativity for the physical creation. But you need support. You need that support, that base that gives all these creation, power. So it's closely interconnected. You understand? It affects that. That creativity is affected by that creation ability, that manifestation into the physical world is supported by the energy from the basic chakra. And how can it do that if it's not closely interconnected? You understand? You're welcome. So this is how these are closely interconnected. This is why. This is why when you look into healing sterility, you need to work on the basic chakra as well. So you can have that, for physicalization. It's not enough that the sperm is there, or it's not enough that the ovaries are there. You need to be able to physicalize. You need energy from the basic chakra to physicalize these things. Not only to have the vessel, but the energy for that to work together. Again, everything is a system. But if those can work together, right, as they're supposed to, there's no malfunction. Everything works beautifully. and there is no sterility. There is, fertility. It's not only the seeds, but the ground needs to be fertile too. And what is the ground? The ground is there, right, to accept the seed, like the ovary that accepts the seed is the ground. But the ground, it's not only about the ground and the seed. The ground needs to be nourished. The ground needs to have proper minerals, and needs to be fertile ground, full of nutrients. Right? So those nutrients, that support, that base, is what helps the foundation of of creativity. Okay, good. Does that answer your question?
Right.
Yeah? Okay. So, I'm thinking, I think that's it for today. I don't want to get into, because we have a new section starting, and this section, that's why I'm asking for questions just in case, because I don't know that I want to cover this, because it's going to take a while to cover. Transmutation of sex energy into love and spiritual energy. And this is a whole section, to really dedicate some time to. And then afterwards, another section on Lord Krishna and Brahmacharya. And this is good. This is about celibacy, about the proper use of celibacy. And why did celibacy start? We saw that you need, like, if you have more energy, sexual energy, right, to transmute, right, you wanna use it to not only, we said that it affects the throat chakra and all the chakras of the head, right, of the head area. And I said before, yes, so lower intelligence, right, for higher creativity, right, but also for the higher intelligence and the direction of all the other chakras, it also affects, because the Ajna chakra is the director of all the other chakras, right? And so it helps. It's very important. All the other chakras, proper functioning of the Ajna chakra means all the other chakras also are positively, affected. And at the same time, but then you have the higher chakras, like the forehead chakra, right, which grants you access into the inner world, into heaven, and the crown chakra, which connects you to, which is the entry point of spiritual energy into the body, and also where the building of the Antakarana happens, into the higher centers, into the unknown, as the book calls it, right? So into your incarnated soul, your higher soul, and your divine spark, or your spirit, you understand? And then ultimately to God, and this has to do with self-realization, self-realization, soul-realization, and God-realization. Thank you. So, is this important that these are working properly? Yes, and it has to do with the sex chakra. So, if there is nourishment, if there's transmutation of energy, you're transmuting energy, right? And this energy is also nourishing these chakras. But how about if you have more energy to transmute, right? That's why sometimes celibacy happens, right? And people, that's good if you know how to transmute the energy. If you don't know how to transmute the energy and you are celibate, the energy is just going to get bigger, and bigger. Well, it depends if you have a proper attitude towards sex or a negative attitude towards sex. Negative attitude towards sex or puritanical views, you understand? You don't let the sex energy flow upward, and then it's bigger, and this type of energies is very potent. Sexual energy is very potent. Kundalini energy is very potent. Gives life. and so it can become to a degree that is very hard to control. And that's why he talks about sex scandals and all that stuff from people that have a lot of sex energy, very intelligent or creative, artistic people, etc. So it depends. But if you have a proper attitude towards sex, the energy flows upward. But when you have a lot, sometimes it's good to help it to transmute it. You help to transmute this energy, right? And those are the techniques that we'll learn next week in the book. They're there. So next week we can learn about these techniques on how to transmute sexual energy, so you can do it at home. And if you want to have greater understanding, take the basic course, take all the pranic healing basic, advanced psychotherapy and crystal healing, right, course, and then take your arhatic prep course, and then start on your way of better understanding this this art and science of transmutation of energy. But regardless, the teacher of the author has some exercises for you to learn to transmute energy, and is very special. So even with that, it's very, very powerful. So when you do this, that's why sometimes before people used to become celibate because of that. And sexual alchemy is also about that. You don't have to because when you have an orgasm, especially men more than women automatically they are automatically tantric, and they automatically transmute sexual energy, right? But especially for men, expelling, ejaculating and expelling, all the sperm when they achieve the orgasm, what happens is that there's a lot of sexual energy that is lost. So then, you want to have more to go up. So sometimes they teach you how to, as a man, at least for men, to have an orgasm without having to ejaculate, or, and you can have multiple orgasms that way, or differentiate between the two, things like that. I mean, there are many different traditions, schools of thought about this, but you can still keep your energy and, have fun with your partner, all that stuff, and at the same time with your partner, if you take all of those courses, and then you can also take the sexual alchemy course for these things.
Course, does it focus primarily on the sex chakra, or is it just the combination? It's of all the chakras, but it does, have a not emphasis on the sex chakra, but it does talk about sex energy and the transmutation thereof. I understand that, but it focuses on other chakras, because you need other chakras to transmute it into love, compassion, right, and the higher chakras for spirituality as well. Understand, and intelligence. So it focuses on many chakras. So at the end of the day, it's not just to waste sexual energy, but to use it, right? But that's what the Brahmacharya chapter talks about, and it really talks about basically the Lord Krishna and the Brahmacharya is not talking about celibacy. It's just saying that you don't have to be celibate to do it, or you can choose to be celibate. But either way, whatever you do, whether you are become celibate or not celibate, is that to transmute the sexual energy, and that's what this is about. Because you can do both, right? You can do either be celibate, not both. I mean, I'm saying you can either be celibate or not celibate, just transmute the sexual energy, either way. Because whatever you are, the main point is to transmute. That way you don't, because if you don't, you either waste it, or at some point, you explode. Or it depends. So you're not gonna take advantage of everything. So that's basically where it is. So, and then sexual problems encountered in the spiritual path, because the more spiritual you become, right, the more divine energy that comes down. All this divine energy, goes down to all the chakras, and it also awakens more sexual energy, more Kundalini energy. Excuse me. And so that's why also very highly spiritual people have very activated sex chakras as well, because of this. The sexual energy is also increased or activated. So it's transmutation of sexual energy helps with all these things, and that's what is also for next week. Then also how to transmute sex energy. So you see cool pictures and on how to do it from next week. And so we'll go over these and there's more. So we'll go over these next week or the week after if we get to them next week. But we'll do the exercises together. We'll do the practice, and we'll go through it. Then do not let us enter into temptation. The 9th, which is from the Lord's Prayer, right? It applies to this chakra. The 9th commandment, and and the divine name of Yesod. And then that will be the chapter. So it'll probably take us around 2 weeks two more sessions to finish this. And I hope to see you guys here next week. Any questions before we close? No? Okay, great.
Mateo's gonna be writing.
Mateo is writing, yes. Okay, so shall we?
I told him to make, because he was working, but he made.
So, okay, cool. At least he knows we're talking about him. So, shall we close? Yes. Thank you for coming, guys. And if you have any questions, please put in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and click on the notifications icon so that you can notify when we get more videos out. We're planning to get more videos out on many different subjects, different things. So thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us, and Amma Namaste. Let's close together. To the Divine Supreme and Absolute God, to my spiritual teacher, the Divine Beloved and Respected Grand Master Choa Kok Sui, to his Divine Spiritual Teacher, to all spiritual teachers, all the Holy Masters, all the Holy Angels, to the Divine Lord Christ, and to all the Saints, to all the spiritual helpers, all spiritual elders, all the divine beings of light, and to all the great ones. We humbly thank you for your divine and priceless blessings, for your divine presence in this session, for your priceless teachings, priceless blessings, for divine help, protection, guidance, and divine illumination. With thanks and in full faith, so be it, and so it is. Thank you. In full faith, thank you. Amma Namaste. Thank you for watching. Thank you for coming. I'll see you next week. Amma Namaste, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.